if it would ever start. Hello everybody, welcome along to JACKOCAR. It is the Cup Series and it's Season 4, it's round 10 and it is once again the start of the playoffs. We're here again, it is the Belgian Grand Prix and it's at this point where things get serious. We saw a few upsets at this track last season and it's always been an iconic track for this league. Can't wait for another race round here. I'm your commentator Omar, with me once again is Jacko and we're here again.
Jacko on his birthday as well. Let's not forget that one, Owen.
Yes, no double points, contrary to what was being said in the chat earlier.
Well, we'll come to that in a second. But this is, of course, the home of the original big one. You may recall that one where Thomas spun at the top of Radion, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, let's hope we don't get that again, or at least if we do get that again, that certain eyes don't get to see it, because I did get into a bit of trouble with someone over that. I'm sure everyone always knows about this one. It's very funny, so I'm not allowed to laugh if it happens again this year, but we'll see. It is a bit of a tradition. We haven't really had our big one yet this season. We got close to it last week when we had all the drivers on the dries when it was tipping it down in Austria, but didn't quite materialise that way. Perhaps they'll get it a bit more wrong this week. And well, look, everything matters now. We've got all 20 drivers absolutely still in the championship. We've got the chase starting, we've got the playoffs starting, and we're already looking to be seeing who's looking to be dropped out.
Yeah, so just a reminder to anybody that's new, of course, at this stage, all 20 drivers are still in contention, with the exception tonight, of course, of returning Corsa and Khalifa, because they're not actually full-time drivers. Of course, Risky and Mike will be back soon, but 20 drivers can still win the title, and with 7 races to go. And tonight, because it is my birthday, Owen, playoff points, anybody that earns a playoff point, it will be doubled.
Ah, that's gonna go down well at the end of the season when someone misses out by one Jacko birthday point.
It is what it is, but
we are
that's
used
what we
to
love about this
controversy
league
here, though. Wouldn't be
Unique
the first
things,
controversy.
little extras. We love it, don't we? Jokers tonight, Owen. They are Thomas and Jess. Stages are lap 6 and lap 11. And first out is Arnaud. He is on a qualifying ban, so he's entitled to do an installation lap and nothing more. And then, of course, you have your reserve drivers of Khalifa and Corey. Before we get into all the drivers that can actually compete for the chase, so starting with Jess at 14 minutes 45 remaining.
Does Arnaud have to do this lap, or have we got actually another lobby issue with the timer? Because he should be out by now.
Well, he should do it so that his setup definitely saves, but he doesn't appear to be moving. So keep your eyes on him, and also Khalifa, who would be next out officially at 16:15 remaining. That time has now gone.
Yeah, so I'd assume we are a minute behind again on the clock, because you can see now Arnaud is exiting the pits. He got this quali ban for what actually he did last quali session in Austria, where what was it he did? He retired before finishing his in-lap.
Yeah, so there was another car, it was Kyle, still out on track, and then Arnaud did not complete his in-lap, DNF'd on the lap, and then of course that results in a qualifying ban, because it is law in JACKOCAR that you have to complete your in-lap if you are not the last car out in a qualifying session.
Is this a new livery we're seeing on Arnaud this week? Looks
this is his
nice.
new for the playoffs. Let me just turn the game sound down. I can barely hear you, Owen.
I can talk louder if you like.
No, nobody wants that.
But yes, it is a very nice livery that for Arnaud. Invalidated his outlap, not that he really cares. Look at him, he's even practicing the creative lines where he uses the concrete off-road. And do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we see if people give that line a go tonight in the quali session. But, well, we've seen a bit of him. Let's actually see Khalifa, because he's the first one who can actually put a valid quali lap in. And, well, is this the first time we've seen him since his championship? win?
It's his second time we've seen him. Of course, the other result, or the other time he showed up this season was when he scored 0 points in France. That was round 2. But Khalifa Racing, he heard a rumour that Arnaud was closing in on the wins record, of course just 1 behind now, and he thought he'd have a bit of that, come back and try and extend it to 12 wins all time. Of course, Arnaud's still on 10 after the win in Austria last week.
Well, you might be able to give Arnaud a race. We'll see how he gets on. Obviously, those two fought in Austria last season for the title during the Championship 5 race. A very tight affair. I'm sure you probably saw it. And, yeah, I imagine Khalifa, he has the high ground. Arnaud's going to want to sort of get the upper hand, show this is his season, even if Khalifa can't take the title off him. He wants to just make sure, look, here I am, battering the champion. But we'll see how he gets on.
You may recall a tweet I did earlier in the week after Austria about Arnaud now the over 700 career points, the first driver to 100 career playoff points, and of course he is tied on pole positions with this man Khalifa, both of them on 14. But can Khalifa take that away from Arnaud again, as he'll be the first to set a lap here? Such a long out lap, but away we go for qualifying in Belgium.
Yep, so Khalifa up towards turn 1, and we will see how his lap goes. How is Eau Rouge and Radillon to go? We always worry about the accidents that could happen up here, especially in the race, but qualifying, got to get that lap valid. And looks pretty good up there actually, the car pretty stable. I'm not very good at getting my car around this track. These guys probably actually would absolutely destroy me in a qualifying session, which is a little embarrassing, but well. Khalifa, through the first sector, avoids that inside curb because it can easily send you backwards at Les Combes. Again, personal experience, I know about this track too much. I could pinpoint every spin point because I've probably been worse at this track this year than I have at any other track at any other point in my life. And look, he is going to go through the concrete route. Do you reckon they've just got like a little group of people just say, listen, if we all do this, it'll look really cool? Or is it like the BARs back in the 90s where they challenged who can do this the weirdest way, and they both go and blow up the cars? It's a weird line. I quite like it though.
Yeah, the way they flick it into that super fast left-hander. Of course, easy to spin that. As Khalifa ends sector 2, obviously fastest at the moment. We say it every week. He's the luxury going out first as Pete leaves the session.
Oh.
Hopefully that's not a lobby thing. That should hopefully be an individual glitch as Khalifa approaches the bus stop for the first time. To the right and to the left, low traction on the exit, but the finish line only just up the road, as it will be a 1:42.4. Competitive start for the season 3 champion.
Yep, let's see if that time will hold as we watch Corey heading through. Almost looks like he's taken the 2017 Cyber look. I kind of like it. But I wonder what his form's going to be like. Are we going to see the Corey who would go out there and win races, or are we going to see the Corey that would go out there and finish 17th? Because you only really get one or the other with him, really, isn't it? And we haven't seen him for a while. He's obviously been busy doing other things.
Playing football, actually, as it happens, Corey. Apparently a very prolific striker for his local team.
Well,
he goes P2.
Half a second off the pace, so as he currently says P2, we'll see how long that will hold. But now it's time to see the first of the drivers who actually can win the championship. And we'll see how Jess gets on. I think she got lapped in the last race, didn't she? So
she may have got lapped, but she finished.
She had got the tyre choice right, but sadly for her, if she wasn't lapped, she would have been finishing actually quite high last week. But as it happened, she was low, and she's 3.4 seconds off the pace. I think this might be where one of her best ever JACKOCAR results came in Season 1, where she avoided all the carnage. Well, actually, she became part of the carnage, but only her front wing went wrong.
She drove through it, didn't she?
Yeah, it was just quite a dramatic set of events, wasn't it? I mean, mad stuff. Who's next?
And here is Ben Harrop, so other Ben, as we call him.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure this isn't, but it does look very Jimmy Johnson final ride of 2020 style. this livery. I do like it. Obviously, I like it, being a Jimmy Johnson fan.
I wouldn't know, but it does look quite nice. I like the metallic purple.
Yep.
I've always liked metallic purples, as you well know if you've been watching since season 1. It's got a wee soft spot for it. But let's see how Ben can get through the lap. Right on board for the rest of it and see how it all goes. Khalifa's time holding quite nicely at the minute, but like I say, there's plenty of drivers still out there. Only have actually seen 4 times on the board at the end of this lap, so we'll see how it all ends up going for Ben. Through the chicane, misses the apex slightly, but still gets it turned in okay. And the line is there, DRS open, and he goes up into 3rd position.
That's kind of what you would expect. So from other Ben to original Ben, Iceman back in the chase again, where he started in Season 2, went on to win it, comes through the final turn, Owen. Can he win the chase this season as he goes P2? What do you reckon?
I reckon
one of the best drivers in that.
Probably the favourite, really, isn't he, to win it?
In that bottom 10, yeah. I reckon Deck certainly has a shout with it.
Possibly.
And,
but he doesn't have the experience.
Vitinho as well.
Doesn't have the experience of winning it, though. That's the thing that'll be on Iceman's side this season. He's been there and done that. But we'll see how it goes for him. But I would say...
He went there, did that, and finished 4th in the Championship 5, of course, when we went to Brazil. Of course, this season we go to Austin, Texas. And here comes Vitinho into the bus stop complex of the track.
Obviously, he has looked very fast so far this season, hasn't he? So we would expect him to be up there too, as he goes 5th fastest here. So maybe not as quick as we've seen other weeks, actually. But
missed out on the playoffs on countback as well, don't forget, when Jordan overtook him, which put Pete into the playoffs. Amazing how fine the margins are.
It is, isn't it? I mean, it really did come down to that, and it always happens, though, doesn't it? There's always one person blows it for someone else in the last lap, but well, it's how it goes sometimes. He'll have a point to prove, though. He was that close. Maybe he can prove me wrong and make himself the favourite. Here's Kieran. Obviously, he probably should be in the playoffs.
If we're going to talk about Japan again, yes.
Well, yeah, he really should have won that race, and I think he knows that. He's been very frustrated in the chat, actually. His morale seems a bit down, so he could do with a result tonight, really, because I think he knows it himself that he probably shouldn't really be at this particular level. But look, he can maybe take advantage of it and get himself into the Championship 5 via the chase as well. All these guys down here, there's plenty of sort of good points that you can make for them to say, yeah, they could make it. Even Camu Babu, his form's picked up recently as he goes up to 5th place. Are we starting to see the return of his old form, I wonder?
I really do hope so. And speaking of old form, do you remember when Thomas was right up there? I think, did he not win this race once, Thomas?
Well, I know he was the instigator of the massive accident. I'm not too sure if he was running second at the time that day, but I don't think he actually won here.
3 career wins for Thomas. One of them Japan, one of them coming Canada, and another one
Brazil.
Yeah, USA. USA short or Brazil, wasn't it?
I thought he won Brazil, didn't he? Season 1?
Yes, you are correct. So yeah, he hasn't won here, but the Belgian, one of the jokers tonight, along with Jess.
Yeah.
Can he get back to his original form? Because Championship 5 in Season 1.
Yeah, his
pace went through the playoffs.
His pace was relatively decent last week, I think, as well. So if he can somewhat replicate that today, then obviously only having to do a one stop might work out quite nicely for him. And he will potentially get a little slipstream off the car ahead of him as well there. We'll see.
Yeah. And is that just not the beauty of JACKOCAR? How, we're talking about these drivers now, how they could make it, could be there. Anyone can be there if they really wanted to.
This is it, you put the time in, this is where it all happens, and everyone comes into the second part of the season knowing they've got just as good a chance as anyone, as Thomas does go P4, only half a second off Khalifa's pace, so the pace is definitely there for him. We'll see how he makes it work tonight. OKK
then, also in the chase, coming into this on 502 points, of course points were reset to 500. OKK has those 2 because of the stage wins he had at Britain 2. That's the race where I didn't lead. But yeah, so he's now 12th. He's had a miserable season. Can he turn it around? Of course, 2-time race winner is OKK, as he will go P8 for now. And up next is Deck, leading the chase, but again, only on 502 points.
Invalid though, so he's going to be stuck
Ooh.
at the back of the grid. That's not the ideal start. But in Austria, in fairness, he magically, in like one lap, went from 16th to 2nd. So, you know, he can get himself up the field if it doesn't start great. So, yeah, we'll see how he can recover from that in the race. Here's Jordan heading
First of the
through.
playoff drivers, then, other than Arnold.
Yep. And obviously got through by the skin of his teeth, but he doesn't really mind. And we'll see how he gets on. Different livery for him this week, isn't it? Bit of the pink in there, and the blue and the white. Looks quite nice, actually.
I think the helmet actually is a commemorative one, he was telling me earlier. That's something to do with his girlfriend's mum, or her girlfriend's nan died last week, I think. So it's commemorating her as Jordan goes P5. What can Jordan do? He was on pole here last season.
Oh, so Pete never got back then, so he is also going to be starting at the back of the grid. So that's a shame for him.
Of course, he can't rejoin late and then set a lap. That's not within the rules, so he will be, 14th at best, but I don't see that being the case. So we go to Catchman.
Look at that for a livery. That is a nice livery on his car. I'm a fan of this.
Another brand new livery for the playoffs. Jake, second most laps led out of anybody this season, but without a race win. Surely it's coming, Owen.
He's had so many chances in his first season and second season to sort of make it happen, so it's going to have to sort of materialise at some point, isn't it? I'm sure it will eventually. He's definitely got the pace to do it. Maybe he just needs sort of a conviction for it, but yeah, we'll see if he can make it work tonight. This could be his day, you just never know. First, of course, he's got to make sure this lap stays valid. I think Deck's lap is the only one to go fully invalid, isn't it? And yet, they really are all doing that concrete line. It must just be the shortest route to the corner entry. Otherwise, why are they doing it, you know? So, I guess it doesn't use any speed, does it? Because you're not necessarily driving off the track, are you? You're just using a very handy piece of concrete, so fair enough.
Yeah.
That's probably why I'm so slow around here. I never even thought to do that. But, yeah, there you go. Shows what these drivers know, which is quite a lot. And now is car practically stopped here. Hopefully it's not going to be in the way of Jake. Oh yeah, that's not in the way, but Deck.
Very dark through there, isn't it, with the trees?
Yeah, he's certainly got himself lost there. You don't want to stick a black car in the shadows. But anyway, here comes Jake to the line. It's a good lap. It's gone P3.
Excellent.
Now Red Matt. He's a driver who's not too unfamiliar with the front of the grid. Let's see if he can find himself there once again as he comes through the bus stop chicane. A driver that has proven this season that they are definitely in the championship fight as he goes up into P2. Not a bad
2
lap.
tenths off Khalifa.
And Jamie has invalidated, so he's going to start down in 19th place. That's a shame, isn't it? He's taken
the Monza race winner, yeah.
Taken off his race-winning livery, and it's back to green for him. And another fight to the front from the rear. Not something that he is uncommon to either. He's done that a couple of times too. Mainly in, I think, Japan was his best one. So he can do it too. So we'll see. His race is certainly not over yet. Here's Cam. Probably one of the most consistent drivers of the season. I mean, he was leading, wasn't he, the championship last week, but it didn't really go to plan in Austria. But really, apart from that, it's been a pretty damn solid season.
He's still benefited from the third place in the regular season with those extra playoff points. Should help him at least for the first couple rounds, and I'm sure Cam will be wanting to be here in the Star Spangled Banner on the Texan grid as part of the Championship 5 on December 16th. In 7 weeks' time, isn't it? But yeah, very good driver, very fast, consistent more than anything. Doesn't have the outright pace to just dominate a race. But Cam certainly one to watch in the postseason as we come up to this final complex of corners. Should be, what are we looking at? Top 6, top 7?
Should be
usually
right
where
there,
he qualifies. Yeah, hasn't changed his livery. Slightly different helmet. Up to the line, it's P4.
And so that leaves us with just two. It's Kyle, in a new livery for him. Looks quite nice actually. Orange and purple, not a combination you see too often, but a nice one nonetheless.
Of course, back in purple for ART after leaving ERT. All his points that he accumulated for ERT will stay with them. Anything from now on goes towards ART. And I think the orange might be for JACKOCAR, maybe.
Oh, who's that off? So that's going to be a distraction for Kyle.
Yeah,
seeing
just a bit.
someone wiping out there. Who was that? Was that might have been Jake. No, it's Jamie. Either way, shouldn't have affected Kyle too much. But as he heads through the final corner, is this going to be P1? No, it's P5, and so it's all down to Jamie, who's invalidated. So Khalifa then, the champion, has stuck it on pole.
And you remember I said about those doubled playoff points? Nobody who can win the title can benefit from the first two that are given away there. Khalifa with his 15th career pole. But Red Matt, Iceman, Cam, all boxing him in. And I think that's a juicy little start we're going to be in for.
That run down to Lake Holm's going to be interesting, isn't it? I'm very much looking forward to that. I mean, Iceman is having a great chance here of getting points on the board for his playoff campaign, because he's sort of in the middle of a bunch of playoff drivers. So if he can stay there, then he'll be feeling quite good about himself. Obviously, Thomas with his Joker. There's one over Joker, isn't there? Who is it?
Jess.
So, you know, we've got a Joker in the top 10 who's in the chase. We've got another chase driver sitting third on the grid. We've got someone who can't even score for the championship on pole. And Red Matt then, well, he's sort of the best off for the playoff driver. So we'll see how it all goes for him. But, yeah, very interesting race in prospect. Let's see how it's all going to end up. Obviously, we're just waiting for Jamie to get back to the pits. Might take a while. The timer's actually running out, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Of course, following the rules at least, unlike last week.
Yeah. Yes, well done, everybody. But, yeah, let's quickly run through the grid then. So it's Khalifa, who is on pole from Red Matt, Iceman, Cam, Kyle, Jake, Corey, Thomas, Jordan, and Kieran, all going to be starting on those soft compound tyres as long as it stays dry. Then it's Camo Babo, Ben, OKK Patino, Jess, who had the slowest time. Then it's the 5 who didn't set times, Jamie, Pete, who may or may not be back for the race, we don't know yet, Deck, other Jamie, and Arnaud at his home race, right at the back of the grid. And that is a shocker, isn't it? But it's what he gets. It is what he gets for his sort of penalty. But as we've seen last week, he can do last to firsts now. He can really do everything.
And the man on pole can also do last to first. He did that once before, Canada Season 2. Do be aware, folks, no formation lap still. The game still isn't stable enough for our liking. But yeah, can Arnaud go back-to-back last to first? I'm pretty sure that'll be a league racing first. I don't know of anybody else who's ever done it, unless you can alert me to some better information.
I can't even remember any last to first outside of this league. I don't know how many would have done it. I mean, the highest I've ever won a league race from was 10th. I couldn't imagine how you could do it from 20th. I don't know how you can manage that, but he did it.
He did it. And that's all that matters as we await the drivers 30 seconds then until hopefully we get going. I do wonder if Pete did rejoin back.
Well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we?
We will, and we'll take this a slight breather, this little moment to enjoy the peace before it all kicks off for the Season 4 playoffs. Oh, and Wyatt, we got the next 7 weeks to look forward to, so I hope you're ready.
I hope the drivers are ready. I hope they know what's going to happen here. We're going to see someone stuck on the grid here. Is Khalifa just going to sit there and not do anything? He's on the left, Red Matt's on the right, and the lights are on. Boom! boogity boogity boogity, the playoffs are underway. And it looks like a good start from Khalifa. He should be able to lead us into turn 1. But you could argue that being second place, which is where Red Mat is, that's where you really want to be. So we'll see as they head up the hill. There's a few cars losing it in the back, but hopefully they can all get through. Corey's a decent start, getting involved with Cam, who might find himself losing a couple of places as he heads up the hill. But let's see Red Mat. Is he going to be able to take the lead straight away as he gets into the slipstream here of Khalifa? Can he get through into Les Combes? That's his goal, but he's not quite going to have the speed to make it work. And so Khalifa keeps the lead. We've got some playoff drivers fighting. We've got Jake and we've got Cam. And Cam has been shoved wide.
Thomas is around at the back. He's only just got out of Radiono and he got spun in the middle of the pack there. I'm not sure who caused it, but he's not even at turn 4 yet. As going back to the lead, Khalifa starts to assert some authority with an 1/8 of a second lead.
Who's that gone? Is that Deck gone off the road? He's fallen down to 19th.
And
so...
Kyle's 18th.
Yeah, Kyle as well. He's got a missing front wing end plate. So a lot of action on this first lap with some of the guys that could have had a real shot at the win. I mean, Thomas has no front wing, so he's going to take ages to get back. Is Corey off? Corey... Oh, and Jamie! There's a big incident happening down here. There's like 4 or 5 cars all involved. And it's all happening at the Fania chicane. We got a virtual safety car. Will it get upgraded? Because there was so much going on down there. Has someone just lost it in the corner? And it's led to a collision. But Jamie, who had made such a good start, is now out. He was up to, what, 10th place? And now it's all gone wrong. Is anyone going to take their first stop onto this VSC? You bet they are. It's Khalifa in, it's Red Mat in, it's Iceman in, it's Jake in. Cam stays out. And we're going to have Jordan into the pits. And Kieran's off. He's into the wall. Is there going to be damage done there? He got his pit entry all wrong. Camo's in. Pete's in. OKK stays out. Vitinho stays out. And the VSC is still out. Who's going to have to double stack? This could make some real differences in this race. Look out for which car is going to be coming out first. Khalifa will be out first. Iceman is now jumped up into second position.
Jess is overtaking Khalifa on pit exit.
Red Mat is lost out here, because he must have had to stack or was there front wing. Either way, he's fallen down. Still under VSC, but waiting anxiously for this thing to go green again. And now it has. Here comes Jake. Can he get straight past Iceman? It's crucial for his race if he can get by the chase driver who's put on the medium compound tyre. Let's see if he can do it on the inside of Les Combes. And Iceman does give the position up, and it is effectively Khalifa first and Jake second if we count pit stops into it. Jess, of course, she is in genuine position because she's on a Joker strategy, but I'm not too sure the pace is quite going to be there, but we'll see. Perhaps she'll surprise us.
You never know, do you? And of course, I was going to say, I've waited for you to finish. Whilst Jamie was having his crash and his DNF, a Deck was spinning around the no-name corner, and he almost collected Kyle, so we almost lost 2 of the playoff drivers at the same time there. Quite unbelievable what we were seeing. I'm surprised Cam stayed out. I'm not surprised about Jess, Vitinho and OKK. They need something to boost their chances in the chase. But Cam, he's a man, he knows what he's doing with a 6-second lead.
Well, let's see how this all works out for him then. He'll be looking really for another VSC to come at the right time. Ben's falling down the field because he's got a broken front wing. Oh! That was close. That was close. Kieran tried to stick it around the outside of a corner you really shouldn't be doing that in, especially when there's a car with damage you're trying to pass, but luckily he avoided going, frankly, airborne if he hit that barrier. But he's kept it going. Ben will obviously fall to the back of the grid, sadly. And another one's in. Deck's in again. Or is that... Actually, no, it is his first stop, this, actually. So, didn't get in on the first lap, despite all his incidents. So he's going to fall back too. Vitinho's trying to pass OKK for second place on the road. And he has done it. Jake, by the way, has pulled 2.5 seconds on Iceman already as he's got past Jess. Is Jake going to be able to try and challenge Khalifa in these early stages?
Oh, we'd love to see it, and of course a win for Jake here would send him to the round of 8, the next round of playoffs.
Indeed, so it's plenty of incentive to get this one done, and a long way to go to make it happen. And Khalifa, who's not raced in this league for a long time, perhaps he might end up getting tripped up by some of the rules, you never know. So
I've
if
seen
Jake
that
is,
before as well.
yeah, if Jake is the car right behind him, then he's in the best place to take advantage of all that. But first he's got to, well, see if he can catch him. Either way though, second place, if he can end up finishing there, would be a fantastic result. I'm assuming Cam will probably now try and get the first playoff point and then pit.
Yeah, lap 6 is the first one. That's Ben in the wall.
Yeah.
He's just lost it at a Radion. He's not the first. He won't be the last. But is that a... Yeah, it's going to be a new front wing yet again.
Oh, he's in actually, Cam. So he hasn't gone for the playoff point. Vitinho might end up taking that.
And now this is crucial. Lap 6. And he's on the medium, so it's Vitinho's to lose, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, I imagine he will take his opportunity as well, as Cam sticks on a set up the medium compound tyre. Khalifa and Jake have already gone through. Cam will have lost a bit of time because he pitted under green flag compared to others who pitted under VSC, and he has got out at the very, he's ahead of Redman. He's only just now got by Jess, who's now under pressure from Jordan. Wonder if there will be any sort of troubles trying to get up the hill trying to pass Jess, because she does lift up there. And you can see Jordan is not going to have many issues, although someone has had a problem with turn 1. I think it's Corey. So it definitely is a 17th place sort of day. And Jordan actually had such a good run. He was almost having a look at Redman there, but didn't quite make it work. Jake's almost into DRS, by the way, at Khalifa.
The difference is Jake is on the soft tyres, Khalifa on the medium, so I think that's why. Although I did see last lap Khalifa picked up a bit of dust in sector 3. Just going slightly off track. But is Jake just in the form of his life? He's been so close to a couple of wins this season. That it might well be his day. But we're not going to jinx anything, are we, Owen? Because we've done that before.
Yeah, we've done that way too many times. I mean, me and Jess had a real bad run of it as well. I think when you weren't in the commentary box, we were jinxing everyone. So yeah, certainly, if you're looking for Jinx Central, I'm pretty much your man. Jake is using a lot of his ERS. That's probably why he's been able to catch up. He's desperately trying to get into the 1 second gap. And he has managed it.
He's there, yeah.
Although Khalifa has also managed it, which means he will get DRS as well. So, still, as long as Jake can just stay on him, then it'll be doing him the world of good eventually, because he can start to save ERS in Khalifa's DRS. But you'll see the run Khalifa ends up getting up this hill. As we see, who is that? Is that...
It's OKK.
Ben, is it? So, is that Ben? Who's just been overtaken, so are they going to catch Ben as well, these guys? But anyway, here's Khalifa, he's getting the run. OKK's getting the run on Ben, though. Is there going to be any sort of blue flag dramas? Khalifa, well, OKK's properly defended, isn't he?
OKK spun!
He got on the curb, and I tell you what, Khalifa, through the eye of the needle there, that was so nearly careening into the back of OKK's car. Luckily,
he spun on the exit of the pit lane as well.
Are we getting a safety car here? Because Iceman is out. I'm on board with him. He's stuck it into the wall that Charles Leclerc put it in practice. I have no idea how that's happened. Is that as a sort of result of what happened to OKK, who's also still sat there? Is he also out, or is he just waiting to get back on track? Whatever's happening.
Disqualified.
Who's been disqualified?
OKK.
Damn,
yeah, he's gone. On my screen, he's gone.
Yeah, I'm having.
Did he just not have a gap? Sorry, I wasn't on board.
I don't know. I'm having a lot of glitches here. Pete's out of the race as well. Did you mention that? Yeah.
I did. He spun on pit lane exit to what I saw.
Yeah. Have we not got a safety car for this? There's 2 cars out.
We have a safety car.
Okay. Yeah, because it hasn't popped up for me on screen. I am really struggling. There we go. Right.
Coutinho is pitting. This is an illegal stop, Owen.
Oh,
he has no damage.
Oh, that is awkward. That is an awkward one. Unless we see a new front wing come out now. Can you see one?
The front wing is fine.
Yeah,
that's a normal stop. That is a 30-second penalty.
Well, we caught that one. Luckily, we caught that one. Luckily, my stream updated in time for it to say safety car, else you might have had a chance of getting away with that. But he hasn't got away with it, and I'm sure everyone will be aware of that one anyway. Khalifa will have certainly been pointing out to that one. Yeah, that is an illegal pit stop, as easy to get. So we just saw Iceman and Pete have separate accidents. I didn't quite see what happened to Iceman, but he ended up in Charles Leclerc's wall. Was that possibly a consequence of trying to avoid the spin from OKK and Ben, who was off the road? And Iceman,
Maybe.
who qualified right up in third place, onto the race.
And as it stands, Khalifa's going to pick up the stage 1 points here. So he's taken all the playoff points so far this evening.
Yeah, it's typical of this, isn't it? You're living a new system and Khalifa's going to just steal all the points, so none of the actual playoff drivers can take any advantage out of it.
No complaints. You'll have to rely on your regular points if you want points this race by the looks of things, but it does bring Red Map back into play, also Cam. But Jake was... Oh, okay. And Jake was with Khalifa anyway, so we have a race on our hands still.
It lets Jake save his ERS up actually again because he was running a bit low. So at least those two are now running sort of level on the ERS. Perhaps Jake on a restart could look at trying to make stuff work. Will Khalifa remember the pitting rule as well? On the state car restart, will you remember that you've got to restart 2 grid rows back from the start-finish line? You know, there's a lot of things that he's got to remember, having not really done any of it so far this season, and been so used to the old system where he won the championship.
Yeah, of course, this season coming into it was a near-on total refresh with the rules package. In fact, there was so many differences. I had to make a video about it. Of course, Iceman and New Garden made a lot of the rules. They made a PDF file. So, a new look JACKOCAR. I'd say it's working so far this season.
There hasn't been too many issues with it. People have been well behaved for the most part. There's been a few drivers who've maybe not been on the ball with it, but there's created some entertaining stuff. But this should be the last lap of the safety car. Obviously, Khalifa is going to have to keep an eye on where the start-finish line actually is here. Because sometimes you do forget the exact point of where it is. And I wonder if that's going to be a problem, perhaps even at the season finale at Austin. That tends to be when people can't quite remember where the start-finish line is for that one. You know, it's just something to think about. If you end up leading the race, you've got to know where these things are. Abu Dhabi as well is another one, although I'm not sure we race there, do we? But it could be one for future seasons.
Not this season, no.
Could be one for future seasons to look at, because I know that they actually removed the start-finish line. So there isn't actually a line there. You just have to guess. So, you know, some tracks, these guys do have to be clued in on it. And who knows what Saudi Arabia is going to look like, or anything like that. Other tracks that we may have seen in the future.
Of course, Saudi Arabia is where we have our All-Star race this season, Owen.
Indeed, the All-Star race.
Providing it's ready in time, because at the moment it's not.
You'll be shocked to know that I'm not invited to race in it, because I haven't won anything. But
and someone's got to commentate. Believe it or not, I actually qualify for the All-Star race.
Of course you do. You're going to abandon me again from the commentary box.
Maybe.
But it was so good from the commentary box last season. They were crashing instantly.
Did I commentate it last season?
Well, at least I commentated it. I remember it. It was quite fun. All I remember is that the leader lemon crashed into someone who was facing backwards. That's all what I remember of it.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I qualify because of that NASCAR championship I have in the league.
So you're going to race in it then?
We'll see. You know, I might want to give someone else a chance. I can't win everything, can I?
Well, I mean, you've already had your claim to fame leading this season in the
seven laps and a stage win. You know.
Yeah. You know, you've had your share. But yes, that will be coming up. When is that? Do you have a date for that?
That's December 23rd, so it'll be a nice Christmas, bit of Christmas telly for you guys.
Christmas telly in Saudi Arabia. That almost sounds like a parody, but anyway.
That famous country known for all its Christmas festivities in the city of Jeddah.
It could be a festive place, you don't know. But
never know. Let's go racing again. Khalifa, does he know the rules of the Season 4 restart procedure?
It is.
Jake does.
It is going to be interesting if he ends up peeling off into the pit lane here. Wouldn't be the first one to get a pit stop wrong today. Obviously, Vitinho could still technically win the race if he wins it with 30 seconds. Khalifa will stay out, so well done. You've remembered that bit. Now, you got to remember where you can start.
It's about here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's
Look
done
at
it
Cam's
quite
restart.
well.
Cam's up to P2.
Cam's anticipated that really well. He's now going right round the outside. He's on slightly newer tyres, remember, but Jake is on the faster tyre. Are we going to end up seeing him move at the top of the hill? Because that might be the only way to defuse this situation. Khalifa might be feeling a little bit vulnerable right now, as look at the run Jake has. And this is for the lead of the race. And I tell you what, Redmat's got a decent run, as has Jordan on Cam, so it's not going to be the only move happening. But here comes Jake on the inside for the lead of the race. Will he get his braking right? Down the inside he goes, and Khalifa does concede. And it's Jake who now leads the Belgian Grand Prix.
And the next stage point comes at lap 11 if he can stay out that long. I don't know if he'll be able to on those soft tyres, but Khalifa is now vulnerable to Cam and Redmat and Jordan, who are all looking quite pacey at the moment. Vitinho, of course, with that penalty, but down in P6, and Deck is out the race now.
Ben is off as well.
And Ben's off. I wonder if they've come together.
Well, they were a lap down.
Safety car.
Obviously, the lap down car, they weren't actually that close to each other, so I'll be surprised if they hit each other, but either way, Deck is gone. Ben off again, still a lap down, and he's got another safety car. Obviously, still can't pit, so we're just going to sort of sit here, and Jake will now be sitting here thinking, oh great, now I'm the one who's going to get jumped on at the restart.
Yeah, well, luckily for other Ben, down in what will become P15.
Jamie's gone up, he's had a wee spin. He's down to 14th.
Okay. Ben has made his 3 stops, or 2 stops plus an extra one. It's only Jess that needs to make 1. Everyone else is on 1 stop for the moment.
So
Arnold lost the first challenge, currently P7.
Yeah, that's looking good for him actually so far, isn't it? Especially when Vitinho gets shuffled out of his way with a penalty. But, so Ben, all he's looking for really is for everyone in front of him to pit so he can unlap himself, but we're getting so much safety car stuff that at least he should be able to lap the whole field again. And so if we get a later safety car in the race, that's why he's still here. He obviously, if he finishes the race, he gets 15th anyway. But, that's why he's still
finishing.
So. Yeah. He's having a bad day, but it could quickly become good if circumstances go his way, and they can and they have before for drivers in this sort of position. But we are sort of waiting now for us to go green again. It does take a while around here because the safety car tends to like for about 3 laps, and they're long laps here.
Very, very long laps. Ben, I think once he catches up, like you say, should be given the go-ahead to unlap himself.
Well, it never lets him, does it? But I'm just thinking when they all pit.
Yeah.
Then he'll lap them that way. Because the game should let him do it, but for some reason their grasp on the real life rules are a bit silly.
Yeah, and then of course once they all pit, he should then hope for another safety car to bring him back into it.
Yeah. That's what he's basically still here for.
Let's have a look. So, top 5. Let's take Khalifa out the equation. All playoff drivers. Vitinho, the lead chase driver, but of course it doesn't count. But it looks like a good day for Camo Babo, Kieran, and Jess. Yet to pit, mind you.
Well, she's on the same strategy as the rest of them. Only has to pit one more time.
Yeah,
and she can have
4 of the guys. Yeah. 4 of the guys that are out are all chase drivers, and Pete in the playoffs, no points to date.
Can I just interrupt you here, because
you can.
Jamie has broke his front wing on the back of Thomas. They've received penalties for their collisions. Is that enough to pit? And I'm not sure, but I reckon Jamie might chance it.
Let's see if I can... What is he? Is P14. So if I go to damage, because I don't really use TAS anymore, I won't lie. He has 35% yellow front right end plate, which is not enough to pit.
Well,
according to TAS,
I have a feeling you might see him pit anyway, because he's sitting 14, but he's just broke his front wing. He knows 1 green flag lap after the safety car, and you have to run that whole thing with a broken front wing. Will he even think it's worth taking the penalty just because he'll fall so far back anyway? Or will he possibly try and argue it with you later? Maybe the incident was predominantly Thomas's fault. He could maybe get a bit of sympathy of it. I don't know.
Oh, so he's overtaken Thomas now as we speak. What's this?
Is he trying to break more of the win or what? But, well, he has pitted, so I guess you're going to have a bit of a case to try and sort out here. But,
So as it stands, that is an illegal stop.
yeah, unless he can convince you otherwise, that is illegal. Now, obviously, will he take his 5-second penalties there as well? I'm not sure you can do that. No, oh, you can do that.
Yeah, he can. Well,
yeah, so that's working out so well for him, because the thing is, right, that he has got 11 seconds of penalties, mind you, so it's not like it's great, but this is his second stop. Means he's easily going to get to the end of the race.
Yeah,
so
it
if
could
that
work out for him.
If he can somehow find a way to call this legal, then it will work out. But as it stands, we think illegal. And obviously, we know Vitinho's definitely illegal.
Illegal stop. So I'm just writing this down. Lap 9/10. So I know to refer to it later. But yeah, no, you're right. It could work out for him. He can't get the 5 seconds removed because he's now served them. But he has made his second stop. The only thing he does have to worry about is there will be a 30-second penalty on top of his race result.
Yeah.
However, once everybody else pits, he will be net race leader.
Look, he's won via stranger methods.
Yeah.
So, anything
by
can
closer methods as well. 0.033. We don't forget that time.
I don't think we'll ever forget that time. Honestly, one of the best finishes to a race we ever had in this league. And
in fact, the photo finish of that is still the header photo for the JACKOCAR Twitter.
Indeed. So, yeah, he'll be trying to sort of top that for a victory. That would be quite the achievement. But we'll see if he can manage it. Is the safety car in? Yes, it is. There we go. Is Jake, possibly with those softs, going to have a little bit more traction? And will he be able to hold off the challenge from Khalifa? Will Cam make another flying start? I assume what he was doing was he was actually sort of backing off a little bit more and anticipating the restart, because you know where it's going to happen.
He's entitled to do so within 5 car lengths, of course. If he drops off any more, then he is at risk of a penalty.
See, the advantage here is that the start-finish line isn't that far out of the corner, and so you can back off a long way. So because that 5 car lengths is a decent length here when you're going at such a low speed, and you can see him backing off. I want to ride on board with him.
Whilst the leader's maintaining speed as well.
See, he backs up a little bit. Khalifa's gone right alongside, and Cam's going to get straight through, isn't he?
Oh, look at
Red Matt, actually. Red Matt's done it. So, yeah, they're all anticipating the restart there. And we're 3 wide.
Leads.
Yeah, Red Matt has made it work. And so someone's going to do it, because it's a really good corner for doing it. And so, actually, Cam has fallen way down. His method was used by someone else, and that person is now leading the race. So, Cam... well, we know his method works. Let's see if Jake can try and get by Red Matt, the race leader.
Cam's problem is he went too early. That's what it was, and Red Matt was just all over the back of it by the time they were at the timing line, and that's why he now went from 4th to 1st and now leads the race.
Absolutely legal, we think. So
perfectly legal, yeah.
Yeah, really good stuff. And Arnaud is trying to fight now for 4th, so his progress is looking pretty solid as well. And we'll see how he can get on. But Jake on those softs, how long will they last? Will he be able to actually stick a second set of them on later on in the race? I imagine he will, since we've had so much time under the safety car. He should still be relatively healthy, these tyres. And we'll see if he can fight past Red Matt before Khalifa has a chance of getting at him. Corey's making slow but sure progress, by the way, because he was down in like 16th or 17th place after the start of the race, and he is now back into 9th. So he's slowly making his way up the field. Yellow flag, isn't there? You'll never guess who it is. Yeah.
It's little Ben. Other Ben.
It's the usual suspect for today, unfortunately. And is Camo slow? What's he done? Because he's very slow in a straight line. Has he got some damage? Yeah, is he off the track now? He must have damage. I don't know what a shame this is. As Jake pits, and look at this. Everyone's running rings around Camo. Oh, has there been an accident? It sounds like there's been an accident, but I can't tell which of these 3 it is. If it's Corey, if it's Kyle, is it Camo? But that certainly sounded like someone scraped the wall to me. Was it Corey?
Corey is going to get a new front wing. Yep.
I think he's hit the wall on the way into the pits. Because it sounded like someone was hitting the wall. And a new front wing for him is not really a massive disaster for him, in fairness. And Camo does have broken front wing, so that's why he was so slow in a straight line, because the thing just wasn't going. And with Jake's pit stop, he's now in plenty of cleaner. He's actually on the mediums for 11 laps, so he can really push those.
Yep.
And that will hand, though, the next playoff point to Red Matt, so there's no chance of taking that off him now.
Red Matt had already got it. That was his third stage win this season. Yeah. So 2 playoff points for Red Matt there because of the birthday bonus, let's call it.
Woohoo. Well,
woohoo indeed.
I'm sure he's probably forgotten about that. Maybe he'll get a nice surprise. Arnoud, though, is going to spoil his day in a minute, isn't he? Because Arnoud's trying to get by his ERT comrade in Jordan. And I tell you, Khalifa's probably going to be quite friendly with him as well, because he isn't even in the championship. So theoretically, Jordan or theoretically, once he gets by Jordan, Khalifa might not be too hard to clear. And then it'll only be about getting Red Matt.
I don't know, Owen. Do you remember Austria season 3?
I do remember Austria, but I also sort of know that these two aren't really in the same sort of fight anymore. But we'll see how it all works out. But Arnoud's now into the podium positions from the back in only 12 laps. This guy, man, is just impossible to keep
Coutinho
down.
making a move on Jordan down the inside of turn 1. Can he make it stick on the inside? He can't. Jordan pulls away in the traction zone. It was Jake that pitted, wasn't it? So I was wondering why Cam had made up a position, but Jamie's too far back for him to have made a move there. Ignore me, is what I'm basically telling you. Kieran pits.
Cam unable to challenge here on Coutinho. I'm sure he'll be probably still feeling a little bit sort of frustrated at himself, I'd imagine, at that safety car restart, because he had the right idea, just didn't quite execute it. But now look where that's led him. The car that was directly behind him jumped him and everyone else, and that was exactly he saw a car passing him doing exactly what he was intending to do. So that's gonna annoy him. So let's see how he deals with that. But Arno's not really making much of an impression on Khalifa, actually. Obviously, Khalifa's got DRS and is fighting away for the win, as it stands. But yeah, just got to wait for stuff to happen. And Jake is Khalifa on the back of Jess already. Oh,
move there.
Done him. Done her. Not done him.
Done him.
Done him.
No, we do have a female in the league.
I do apologise. Could be worse. Could be screaming at her. You're meant to laugh at that point.
Oh, sorry. No, I was. I moved my focus elsewhere at that point. Yellow flags.
Who is that? Pits. It's a Corey. I was just saying about how well his race is going. He's broken the front wing again.
Oh.
This guy.
Do you remember last season before his win in Austria? He had the average finishing position of 17.5.
Yeah. Who could forget it? Referencing it all night. I mean, it is. We know him so well for this, and he's proven once again why we know him for this. But
what about the move for the lead? Khalifa on Red Matt to the outside. Red Matt moves across and holds it in the braking zone. Khalifa gets it done.
That was so risky because he was so nearly on the inside curve of Les Combes, and I could so easily have sent both of them to round. He's going back up the inside, is he? Just trying to scare Khalifa. Corey out of the race in the pit lane. Red Matt still putting the pressure on, but Khalifa is through. That fighting. Oh, was it broke his wing? It just seemed very understeery. Hopefully it hasn't. Maybe it was just a small understeering moment.
Bit of wash from Khalifa's car, perhaps. Yellow flags still out. They've now gone. So the top 4 can all breathe a sigh of relief, because that would have ruined their races, and it would have made the races of Jamie and Jake, and also Arnoud.
And
Jordan gets past Jess. Yep, he's still there.
But I tell
Jess
you what,
yet to pit.
I tell you what, though, Jake might be on to lead this race in a minute, but Arnoud's on the softs. He's gonna win this race, isn't he? I can't really see it going to anyone else. Maybe Khalifa, but he's probably going a little slower than Arnoud is right now. He's just at a purple middle sector. So I would really, if they want a chance here, Khalifa and Red Matt have got to pit now. And Red Matt has
Khalifa
not
does.
pitted.
Yeah.
And this will be interesting. Will Jake get through? Arnold is into DRS already on the back, or he's just fell out actually. Just fell out at the last second. But let's see. You can see these two, the top two in the race, coming down. It's Ben again. And I think these two should be ahead. Obviously, you get to cut turn one a little bit on the pit lane exit, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. You can see, there's Khalifa down in third place. And Arnold is getting ready, folks, and this is for the lead. Nothing crazy about this one. When they all pit, you're going to see Arnold going from last to first. And it
again,
looked
2 weeks in a row.
Effortless stuff. Arnold leads the race then. From Jake. Yellow's sector 3. That's the usual suspect. He's in the wall. Could be safety car because of the front wing. Or even virtual safety car. But I think we're getting away with it. As Vitinho gets a 3-second penalty. Might find himself getting more than 3 seconds after the race, unfortunately. And we do not go safety car for that front wing. But Ben is just having a terrible race now, isn't he?
Yeah. Going back to Arnold, don't forget a win for him ties the all-time wins record with Khalifa.
Maybe there will be some beef between them two then. The record on the line, you know.
Oh, a slow car. Camo Babo's out.
Oh. Safety car. Well.
And that's Red Matt races over along with Cam.
That's disaster. We're running out of cars though here. Because really, Ben's a lap down and he's just not going to be able to do much. So basically, it's a 12-car race we're sitting with now. The time's running out. It really is running out. And the guys are running low on numbers. So who's... Jamie, he could be on for a 30-second penalty. Vitinho could be on for a 30-second penalty. So there is chances still for Red Matt and Cam to get something out of it. But yeah, I mean, the safety car is a total disaster. I was surprised Red Matt didn't follow Khalifa into the pits, frankly. But that's what he's going to have to live with now, as Jimmy picks up another penalty.
Always the risk you take, isn't it? I mean, he got caught out by that earlier in the season and then made up for it at Hungary when he got that win. Cam, I guess, same boat as Red Matt. And yeah, so your race leader is Arnold.
Yep.
In theory.
Well, and you know, the tragic thing is here that Jamie was actually 13 seconds clear. But we think he's going to get a 30-second penalty. Either way, that massive gap has been wiped out. But what it leaves then is that the top two need to pit again. Jess is on the Joker, so she's fine. And Thomas was on the Joker, but crashed at turn 1. So that's sort of where we're sitting. And now, once again, we wait. Woohoo! Waiting.
You see, Ben has had an atrocious race, but he's going to collect, providing he finishes, collect points for 13th, which would put him, let me work this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in the chase.
Yeah, I mean, we've lost a lot of chase drivers, haven't we? I mean,
yeah.
Weird situation. Who's the highest chase driver who hasn't got a penalty then?
It's not Vitinho, it's Kieran.
Kieran,
believe it or not. Yeah.
Kieran in 10th place. That sort of shows the quality of Khalifa and the playoff drivers. Shows why they're up there, I guess.
That's exactly why. That's what the system's designed to do. Your playoff drivers are supposedly the super fast drivers that win the races, and then you've got the guys in the chase. It gives them lower down the grid a chance to have a shot at the title every season, and it usually does provide the chase. It's quite exciting. Last season, Janel winning by 8 points in the end. Sounds like a lot, but the races before that, it kept changing by a point or two either way between him, Pete, and I can't remember the other driver involved in the chase. He then went to Austria and finished 3rd in the championship.
Hopefully.
Of course, Ben won season 2 and Jordan won season 1.
Hopefully this is the last we'll see of this safety car today, this lap. Because we must have had about half the race behind it now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Red Matt's begging for it to come in this lap. He needs as many laps as he can possibly get to make something out of this. Has Ben been off again? He has.
Yes, I'm watching him go off. 4
Look,
minutes down.
Yeah, he's actually
on Jess.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, he still hasn't passed Camu Babu. He crashed out 2 laps ago. I think he's about to do it now, because he crashed here at No Name, and so I think he'll now move up to 13th place. Yeah, there you go. Took his time. He's on lap 15. Everyone else is on lap 17. But look, it could. These points he gets today could be crucial when it comes to qualifying him for the Championship 5, because at least he's getting points.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. You know, if the other drivers in front of him all have a terrible race next week, but he still finishes in the middle of the pack, yeah, he could be leading the chase. It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
Of course, next week, Owen, is our first, or second, technically, elimination race of the season.
Yeah, they come thick and fast, don't they, in these playoffs?
They do. Every 2 races, 3 rounds of it, and then we have our finale. We're looking forward to going to Austin, a track we've never done the full layout, would you believe? We've only ever raced at USA Short. Popular with me and probably not many others.
Yeah, I think there was a few people who threw parties out here after it was announced that the short tracks were gone for this game.
I mourned their loss.
Yeah, well, and there was of course he did. But the rest of them will have to deal with the whole track now, which means the S's will be slightly less scary. And is this safety car coming in, or are we seriously going to do another lap? Please don't tell me Ben has caused this thing to start again. Is he just going to call it late? Because it sometimes does call late. But there's no real reason for this thing still to be out. Oh, for goodness sake. Obviously, not the only car, or not the only track we've lost of the short tracks. That was one of our favourites. We lost Bahrain short as well. Mind you, it was the wrong Bahrain short as it turned out. Cody's did all this geniusness with the short tracks just for F1 to turn one and come up with a different one. So, maybe that one's not one we missed too much.
The big loss was Britain short, of course. Because that did actually provide some excellent races. 45-second lap on average around there. And
it was frenetic.
We never did make it to Japan short, did we?
Would have been a bit of a mess, though, in fairness. Japan short really was more just a go-kart track. Which I guess
would have made a great Championship 5 decider, wouldn't it? No? Okay, on my own. Anyway, just 2/3 of this lap to go behind safety car.
I think maybe you're the reason that they removed these tracks. They saw us using them and they realised, Jesus, what have we done? We've got to get rid of these. But I am patiently waiting, but this safety car has been out for like 6 minutes now. I just want to get back to the racing. Because it should be very exciting watching Red Matt and Cam have to fight with Jamie, who they think is going to be winning this race, but he doesn't actually win the race because it's got way too many penalties to even think about winning. And there's Arnold, who's on the quickest tire. And what if he gets jumped by Jake, who might have a good start based on what we've seen earlier on in the race? Anyone could take a good lead on this one. Khalifa fancies extending his record of wins. Jordan's up there as well.
Jordan's never won a race in JACKOCAR, but he has had a pole here, so can he deliver?
I mean,
maybe, hopefully.
I'd give it to anyone from Arnold all the way down to Jordan, one of those 4. I hope it's a first timer. I'll give it to a first timer. Shake it up a little bit.
It's got to be Jake. I think, based on this season, Jake deserves the win over Jordan. But Jordan has made the playoffs yet again. It's 2 seasons in a row now.
Here we go. This is going to be it. The restart. Not quite as disastrous as it was last week for the guys who were stuck at the front on the wrong tyre. but it is the wrong pit strategy for the top two this time. And so as long as I don't see a massive pile-up, although in fairness we have been building one up, yeah, we'll see. Obviously Red Mac can't jump anyone because he's at the front. And you can see, has he... Yeah, he's made a gap to Cam, so Cam is going to blast past now, is he? No one's actually jumped anyone. Well, they've all done it wrong. Oh, Jamie's up the inside of Cam. Cam's nearly actually gone round, but he's kept it on the road. I don't think he's going to be having a look at the lead at this rate. He's going to be nowhere near it, unless he gets a proper run up the hill. Jamie really challenging here and trying to make this one stick, because he's got Arnold all over the back of him. And Cam, is he going to defend it? He's not really looking at doing so, because he has actually got the better line to be on until they come. Oh, and down the inside, Jamie's gone way too deep. Surely he's had to cut the corner, and he might have created himself out of contention here. As for goodness sake, Jamie, what have you gone and done that for? You've just given Arnold an easy win, as he still stays ahead of Jake. And that will let Arnold run free, I would expect.
Yeah, unless, of course, Arnold has one of his infamous moments. He's had a few, but
he has,
lost to first twice in 2 weeks. I'm going to call it now. We weren't sure earlier, but that will be a league racing first across all leagues, all tiers, all consoles.
I'm sure there'll be someone with some archive somewhere that's ready with this fact to tell us we're wrong. But
well, unless they can show me it in black and white, it doesn't count. Arnold on the verge of esports history.
Do you know what?
And also on the verge of Ty and Neil Time Cup Series wins record.
Look at Jake, he can't get past. And you know what, it was frustrating because if he had got by, Arnold had been held up just long enough for him to possibly just sit right behind him. Is Jamie going to try and fight back on Arnold? Khalifa's trying on Jake now, but not finding a way through. Kieran now sits 8th place, still the highest of the chase runners. And there's no DRS on this lap, but even if there was, Arnold's already cleared the 1 second gap. Jordan is fighting to get by Khalifa now. He is trying and successfully pulling alongside. Ben has had another incident, but here comes Jordan. Jordan is sitting for trying to get a podium here, but he can't quite make it stick. There's a real chance there for him, actually. But he didn't quite make it happen.
With these 30-second penalties yet to be applied, Kieran actually sits 6th, Owen, just to correct you on that. So, what a great day out for him.
Oh, that's late.
Khalifa.
But he's had to do it. Jake's been boxed in, and Khalifa's gone wide. So it hasn't quite worked out, this move. Jordan will be sitting back and waiting for the fireworks to start, as Arnold is allowed to pull away through all of this, and he's already 2.5 seconds clear. No, Jordan's gone, and that's going to promote Kieran up another position. It's going to possibly leave Carl in a position, if he can get anywhere past Vitinho anytime soon, possibly fight for a podium later on if it gets more frenetic than this at the front again, because Khalifa versus Jake versus Jamie is getting quite good. And
Kieran's on the back of Kyle as well.
Yeah, here comes Jake down the inside of Jamie. He's not particularly late on the brakes, but he has got the move done. Will we see Jamie try and cut back on the exit? Arnold's now taking the fastest lap as well. He's wrapping the points up tonight. And here comes Khalifa. No way through just yet. Kieran, as you say, is trying to get involved as well. Plenty going on in the closing stages. Khalifa still all over this. You can't really do anything into Eau Rouge and Radion, so you just got to step back. Jordan's overheated the tyre, so that's going to be in the mud for him. But here comes Khalifa now, and he's going right fast, and he's up into the podium positions officially. Will Jamie fight back on the inside, though? Oh, he will, and he can't make it stick. Khalifa now into 3rd. Can Jake hold on for 2nd place? Because even if it's not a win, it's still a very strong start to his playoffs. But we'll see how it all pans out. There's a lap and a half to go.
And Jake needs to think of the bigger picture. He's not racing people like Arnold and your Jamies in the playoffs. He's down in the lower end of the playoffs, so every point here counts. Points for second is 15, and points for third is 14. Still look at the bigger picture. If Khalifa makes a move, I would let him through. But certainly Arnaud, he's away with this. 4 seconds clear up the road. But what can Khalifa do as we approach the final part of this race? Owen Wyatt, almost 1 lap to go here in Belgium.
So, is Jake possibly gonna let this... Oh no, I tell you what. Khalifa's thinking, but I'm thinking he's actually holding off to make sure he gets DRS. I thought Jake might try the same thing. But actually, what this is going to do is going to let this whole train involved in this now, and they might end up slowing down each other again. Is Jamie or Vitinho, the 2 penalty-ridden drivers, possibly going to try and break into these two? Here comes Vitinho at the inside of Jamie, and Jake. Well, Jake's just had to pin the throttle, hasn't he? He doesn't want to pin the throttle, you can see it. Is he going to try and slow it down for Eau Rouge? Trying anything he can here as we go side by side.
Side by side.
And that nearly ended in tears. But Khalifa, he has managed this correctly, and I don't think there's really anything that Jake can do to stop him moving up into second position. And that is going to be that. Surely that fight's over. Here comes Kieran on the outside. And Kyle, he's heading him. He's going to go round. He's just about held on.
Oh.
He took the risk. It nearly paid off. But there's still time.
Save.
Thomas is in this as well. He could end up taking him, and he could save his afternoon, his evening, around his home race. They're all drifting round now. They're all really giving it everything on this final lap. And it looks like everyone is staying clear. Who's that with a puncture? Is that a puncture, or is that Ben just being slow? These guys don't go!
He's got to get out of the way!
Oh my goodness, he almost didn't see Khalifa coming. Oh, there's a car off, and it's Jamie, and that might involve a few more cars getting through. I don't see anyone hitting Jamie, but that's a good distraction avoided by everyone there. But while all this goes on, we've got to go to the man who for the second week in a row started last and has moved himself up into the lead of this race. And for the second time, his home race is going to be taken by Arnaud, who sees the checkered flag, lasts the first. He's done it twice. And here at the final corner, look at Thomas. He's done him. Has he got him? Oh,
no, the line.
That was so close.
Oh.
Thomas just pinned the throttle a little bit too hard, and that was for the chase lead. And so that is Kieran, who by it can't have been much more than a couple of hundreds. He holds off Thomas and leads the chase. So Arnaud tops the playoffs. Not surprising, he already had a big advantage anyway. And it's Khalifa second, Jake third. Good day for him. Kyle, not bad from where he was at the back at the start of this race. Kieran, Thomas, Vitinho, we might get a penalty for him. Redmat, Jess and Cam in the top 10. Jamie will also get a penalty, perhaps in 11th. Jordan won't really make any advantage of it though. Nor will Ben.
Jamie will be 11th. It's Vitinho is the one you got to look at. 30 seconds on top of his time puts him down to 11th, so Jamie will actually get oh no, he won't because of the penalty. So yeah, Vitinho will be down to 10th and Jamie stays 11th. So Red Matt recovered to 7th and Cam recovered to 8th. Not bad considering they had to make an extra stop at the end now. What a finish to the first race of the playoffs.
I'm not even surprised anymore that it's Arnaud who wins. It says it on a halo, first you have to finish, and yeah. Of course, he's done that.
He has done, yep.
And well, all of his inability to win at the start of the season appears to be washing away. And it's another home victory for Arnaud. Like I say, I think it's the second time he's done it round here at Spa. And, well, last time he did that, he was straight into the Championship 5. Will he manage it again this season? Will he be able to go all the way? With performances like that, I don't really think you can look past anyone else. But we will see how it all goes. As you see, yeah, 20th to 1st. I mean, what can you say that we haven't already said?
Kyle's recovery as well, that's got to be taken a note of as well. He had a shocking race up until, well, he just made the best of the mess at the end. A top 5 for Kyle.
So, what was the gap between Kieran and Thomas? 9 1/1000ths of a second. That could be crucial at the end of the play, at the end of the chase. It really could be, because those two are top 2 in that now. So that's really the difference it made. Thomas will be disappointed, obviously, his Joker didn't work, but it happens. So the order quickly: Arno, Khalifa, Jake, Kyle, Kieran, Thomas, Matinho, Red Matt, Jess, Cam, Jamie, Jordan, Ben, Kamiwabu, Corey, Deck, Iceman, OKKP, and Jamie. Quite a lot of Union Jacks and English flags down at the bottom there. Not a good day for the Brexiteers.
The points that Jake lost on Khalifa overtaking him, he gained back with the double playoff points for the podium finish.
Oh, good news there. And that is it then this week. Quite remarkable race in the end. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Where are we next week, Jacko?
We are in the land of the bears and Mr. Putin and vodka. It's Russia. For the first time ever. Never been done in the Cup Series before. So, something new to look forward to.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that one. It'll be 7 p.m. next Thursday. You know the drill by now. And, yeah, hope you enjoyed the race. We will see you next week. And until then, safe travels, get your vaccine, etc. And, yeah, have a good weekend. Bye-bye.